All right, hello, welcome back to Bald and Board Games, and as you can see, we are standing. And if you've seen any of our other games of similar type beforehand, you'll know why. But I'm Bald.
I'm bored.
And today we're playing Other Side of the Hill.
Yes. Yeah, so the last time we did a standing stream would have been Successors, a good 6 months ago.
Yeah, that was one that isn't going to be, that one wasn't as long as this one's going to be.
Yes. The big difference between Successors and this, if you like war games, Successors is a one-off game. So you set it up, you play 2 to 5 players, I believe,
Yep.
and it's a one-off game. It takes 5 hours, but it's a one-off. This, we are playing the campaign version. So this campaign is going to take estimated 10 to 14 hours. So we are here with you on Inauguration Monday for the U.S. people. For Kim and others in Canada, you have a better day than we do.
Yeah.
So you're just hanging out. So yeah, we're here. We're going to go through setup. We're going to start the campaign and discuss it all. And hopefully not die beforehand.
Yeah,
Even though
so
this
stick
is
around.
competitive.
It's going to take a good probably 10 plus hours, so pop in, pop out, pop back in. We'll be getting treats and stuff throughout the day. As you can see, you can kind of get a glimpse of what's typically above us here when we're playing, because I am very tall. So we have a little camera in view, but it'll be pretty much on the table the entire time. But we want to have this standing view, so when we do stand up in the corners, you can still see us as we're trying to figure out what we're going to be doing. But there's a lot going on this board,
Yes.
as you can see.
So a little context before we get started. So this is a war game, specific World War II.
Yep.
So you'll see here kind of a year track, 1939, 1945. The overall goal here is this is a competitive war game, but there is some things we have to work on together to try to not trigger victory conditions for the opposing side. There's some random NPC characters here. But yeah, the main disclaimer we will put out there is we are playing as German generals in the game.
Mm-hmm.
We did not create this game, we're just playing it. So we do not condone or sympathize with the Nazi party.
Yes.
We just love war games.
Yeah, they do a great job of making this a war game in World War II where you're playing the German generals, it seems like so far, without any actual reference of Nazi or Nazism that we've seen so far, which is great.
We just know that Hitler exists.
It's clearly, this could have taken place at any point in time in any war where Germany was at war with these other countries, which is kind of nice. It gets rid of that little bit of discomfort that can be there. But
we don't know what all these cards say.
Well, we also felt it was appropriate for our current day here in America. So
that's true.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start. There is a hefty setup log here.
Yep.
So we are gonna go through. We'll do the introduction first on what we're doing here today. So we are playing Other Side of the Hill, specifically the Armageddon scenario. So Armageddon is up to 23 turns. Starts from autumn 1939 to spring 1945, which is the length of World War II. This is a competitive scenario. We will use 1939 in the setup aid, and we will follow everything else as instructed. So we're going to start setup with the decks of cards that Nick has spaced out around the board here. You'll see one cool thing is this centerpiece is an actual game board. We just laid it over the mat. Everything else is a big old player mat that we got custom for this game.
Yeah.
The player mat had a little wrinkle in it, so we put the board on top just to keep the pieces solid for stream.
Yep.
But yeah, this is a massive amount of stuff. So, starting off.
Let's go.
Separate strategic and combat event cards into different decks. Draw the 1939 card from each pile and place it face down in current year.
It says face down?
Oh yeah, until we start the scenario.
Oh, okay. Did it actually say face down?
Yeah,
or are you
face
just
down.
doing that?
No, it said board face down.
Sometimes Steve makes up rules because he doesn't want to see things before it starts. That's what I was asking.
I also do. That's also fair, but
Let's clarify. Don't want to make sure that when the scenario started, we flipped it over.
Oh no, this says, I'm assuming we will, but it does say face down. Place the rest of the deck next to it. Do not shuffle these two decks. They are in order throughout the years, so we keep them as is.
Well, it says they probably always are face down until we're instructed to draw one, because the other years have multiple cards.
Yeah, because we don't draw this until combat.
Exactly.
Because when someone triggers combat, then they draw it.
Yeah, because other years have multiple cards, which we'll probably shuffle and put their face down, so.
Military, political, production, directive cards on this side of the board over here.
Boom, boom,
Place the
boom.
1939 cards out for each of the appropriate stacks.
I'm going to starting on this side.
What?
Just keep it more center. I'm just starting here.
Oh.
You're fine.
Oh,
More
got center that way.
Exactly.
There's one there.
There's just the one.
Yeah. Black Orchestra cards are shuffled and stacked over there.
Boom.
We also have Field Marshal cards, which we'll talk about in a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Combat cards are shuffled and stacked.
They are shuffled.
Agenda cards keep aside. But we have a nice little pile over there.
Yep.
Distribution of generals.
There we go.
So put general cards without scenario keys, a 0000, in a single deck sorted by entry year. So on the general cards, there are little scenario indicators. They'll have numbers. Some of these will start with number 1. Some will start with number 2 as the years go by. This set of stacks over here to my left all start with the number 0. That means we're starting from the base version, or the beginning of the campaign.
Yep.
So in a 2-player game, player 1 will receive blue and orange. Player 2 will receive purple and brown.
So let's roll for player 1 and player 2.
Does player order matter? No, player order doesn't matter. I'm just going to shuffle these in hand. You pick one.
Okay, and that'll be decided as player 1 and player 2. Sure.
I have no idea which one's which.
I don't.
Okay.
I have orange and blue.
You are player 1.
I'm player 1.
Victory conditions. There is 3 victory conditions in this game. Victory condition 1 is we get to the end of 1945. We have prestige markers at pay. And whoever is ahead at that point in time at the end of 1945 will win. The other 2 victory conditions for the NPCs are if we collapse Germany or what was the last one? I don't remember. There is a third one.
If someone gets 20 points ahead of somebody else.
That's right. Yeah, someone just is like, screw you, I'm just going flying ahead, then it's over.
So essentially, if one of us whoops the other one's ass, then...
I don't think that'll happen. I think it'll be a nice even back.
What's interesting about this game is while this is competitive, and I think there is a more like legitimate competitive / cooperative version of this, the game innately is slightly cooperative. So it's competitive in regard to points and the different roles you play, but it's cooperative in the fact that you both don't want Germany to collapse. Because maybe you do. Maybe like once we're ahead, we want to push for the collapse, so that way, it's like just move those tokens.
No, we're good.
Oh.
No, great.
Once maybe I get 10 points ahead, I'm like, I'm gonna collapse Germany right now, so I win.
Yeah, true. Some kind of musical. Thank you for joining.
Hello.
The call was, even though this takes 10 plus hours, it's a better form of entertainment than anything else being broadcast today, and you were right.
And that is why we are doing this today for all of our fine people who don't want to watch trash TV.
Yeah. So good luck at War General. Stay hydrated. Yes, I have a Monster and a glass of tequila. No, I'm just kidding.
Big thing of water, cup of coffee right there to get me going. I have a donut out there to spike my sugar.
Just one donut.
We can split it. It's a
glazed
buttermilk if you don't know.
It's but one donut.
What's a glazed buttermilk? So it's a thick buddy.
Gotcha. I really thought about getting German foods today and bring it over, but then I was like, it's a lot of effort.
You could have, but yeah.
That was a lot of effort. It was too. This morning I barely got out of bed.
Yeah, I almost bought a Volkswagen for today.
I was gonna go to Ralph's on the way here, and I was like, I'll grab some snacks.
Should have gone to Bonds. It sounds more German. Bonds.
Yeah.
Aldi's actually is German, so I could have gone to Aldi's.
Bonds. Typical. All right. So setup table.
Trader Joe's is German too, actually.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a brother company of Aldi's. Sorry.
Anyway,
Anyway, history.
Better company than Aldi's. Trader Joe's is great.
Don't let Jen hear you.
She likes Aldi's?
Oh, yeah.
That's insane. Trader Joe's is phenomenal.
He's a traitor.
Trader, not traitor. I'm not Benedict Cumberbatch.
The briskets are coming.
So, setup table 1. We have 2 setup tables. Number 1 is going to be all of these markers. I laid them out nicely in order. We will go through those. So first off, year track. Woo-hoo, 1939.
Yes.
Turn track. Autumn of 1939, which is September 3rd, 1939.
You notice the board does say fall, but autumn is preferred, so...
Yeah. Sequence marker will start on the first spot.
Yeah.
9. 9. Okay, so Landing number 1 will be in the marker spot equivalent 1942. Landing marker number 2, 1944.
While you continue that, I'm going to crack this one. It's getting warm in here.
All right.
Love the lights.
He stands up right as he has to put markers down.
Oh, do I? I'm sorry.
I put the 5 there in front of me.
Got it. I'm here.
No.
I'm here. I'm back.
Resource track.
I've defected.
Number 8. Wehrmacht replacements, Luftwaffe replacements, strategic warfare replacements, 111.
Cannon is Wehrmacht.
Yeah, they're in order.
1. Luftwaffe. Yep. I was getting the pictures correct.
Military directives, political directives, production directives, 111. And consumer goods are a 2. One thing to pay attention to in this game is this is at an 8. That means that these have to add up to 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yep.
So as those move around, your resource track will move around. The project table is set up over there already. So we have a bunch of projects. Those are not available yet. So like the nuclear bomb and all of that, they'll come later in the war. Project difficulty stays in the -1 box. Fanaticism on the 2.
Hey, you said it right. All right.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I'll change it throughout the day.
Fantasism. You're moving the T over your thing.
Well, it's just weird with the A on both sides of the end.
Wanna Fanta.
Unrest 0. Paratroopers 5. USA neutrality. Oh, one thing I do appreciate in this game too is they make it legitimately historically accurate. So USA is not in the war right now.
Yep.
They're just chilling at home with FDR. USSR starts with the Nazi-Soviet pact because Stalin and Hitler were united.
There are things
until we get Operation Barbarossa in 1941.
I was gonna say there are things you can do to put that will push that to war before it would technically happen, to where when the year comes it'll be it happens now if it hasn't already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Strategic warfare track 1. We do this every time.
Strategic warfare.
Yeah, there we go. That's what we do every time.
I know.
0 for resource.
Well, it's because all the tracks are down here, and all of a sudden it's in there.
3 and 4 blockers. Status of France, a Third Republic. And status of Italy, independence. Additionally, in competitive play, we have a player 1 and player 2 marker. Prestige will start at 5. What color are you, by the way?
Player 1 is orange. Player 2 is purple.
Okay, good to know. You will have 6 vacancy markers up here on top. You will have priorities 1, 2, 3, and 4 up here on top. You will have a blue and a red no offensive. You will have open and closed ports. You will have isolated troop markers. It says 5, but we have 6 for some reason, so we'll stack all 6 there.
Should we put one back in the box? Because if we can't have another isolated troop, they're just gone, right?
True. And then we have dissident markers up here as well. Let's put it over there. All right, and then we have the influence markers starting on 0 for all 4 sectors.
All right. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The 6th one might be for the cooperative or something, or
Maybe.
if there's an easier mode.
Yeah.
That's at 0. All 4 of those.
So all of those markers were just number 1 of the setup page. Now we're on part 2.
We're already an hour into the game.
Yeah. So we have air and naval control markers. So on the board there is a Western Front, Eastern Front, Southern Front, and Germany. Each of these will have different markers. Germany will start on the 5. The Western Front will start on the 2. The Eastern Front starts on 3. Southern Front starts on 1. And now there are 28 sectors on the board that can be controlled by different parties. Again, right now, the red ones in front of Nick are not in play. Those are Soviets. That's obviously this whole side of the board. They're just kind of chilling for now. So starting with Area 1.
Well, these are in play, just there's no Soviets on them.
Yeah, there's no Soviet ownership.
Yeah.
Or I guess they technically own it, but we don't
they're,
know.
They're allies right now.
Yeah. Starting with Area 1. 1 black disc, 2 blue discs.
And so the black disc will go on the highest number right now, right?
No, the other way. Right? We'll clarify in a minute.
I think Oh yeah, no, you're right.
I think
It works up to the highest, so it starts
blue
off.
goes high.
If it's only black, it's on the highest number.
Yes. Yeah, blue goes high, black goes low.
Yeah, so then this is technically disputed.
Yes, we'll get to that.
Okay.
5 gray cubes.
2, 3, 4, and 5.
Where's my satellite markers?
I don't know.
Oh, it's the back of these. That's why.
Yeah.
There we go. We definitely have disputed markers. And then we have 2 generals that'll be occupying this location. And that would be von Rundstedt and von Bach. So these generals have seniority markers. You can see a 10 and a 9. So 10 will go up top. He'll be the most senior. 9 will go below it.
So I have von Rundstedt and Steve has von Bach.
Oh, I do I? Yes, I do.
And so then these, because they're on the board, we'll go into the activated generals, right? Or the in command.
In command generals.
In command, because they're activated when we use them.
That's a great question. We'll come back to that.
Yeah. There's gonna be a lot of that because it's our first time playing it. It was a hefty learn. There's phases, which is nice. We'll be able to reference each specific phase.
And the phases are mostly pretty straightforward. There's a lot of info, but they're pretty straightforward on what you do.
Yeah.
The combat will be a little complex to start.
Once we get through like 2 rounds, then it'll start flowing.
Yeah. Area 2 and Area 3, 1 black marker, 1 white cube. Hungary and Yugoslavia.
Area 2, 1 black marker, and Area 3, 1 black marker, and 1 white cube in both of those?
Yes.
Okay.
But don't they start on the...
No, these, because
there's one of these zones?
No, that's only... So they're here because there's nobody else there. So they're the highest. So we went back and forth on last time. We moved them over. If there were those other markers there, then they would...
Okay.
I believe. We'll double check that.
Area 5, 1 black and 1 white cube.
Area 5 up here.
Baltic
right?
states.
1 black, 1 white cube. Okay.
Area 15 and Area 16, 1 blue. Iraq, Iran, and the Middle East.
1 blue, sorry. Area 15, Area 16, 1
Area
blue.
18 as well.
Area...
Oh, no, sorry. Hold on. Skipped one. Oh, this is not going to matter. But Area 18, sure. There's 1 blue as well. Area 17, 1 black, 1 white cube.
So then you're the highest there. Sorry, what was 17? 1 black and 1 white cube?
1 white cube, yep. Control list indicates sector control within an area. A sector with an axis, which is the black, and all sectors with a lower number are controlled by an axis faction. So black goes high.
Yeah, because when you...
blue goes low. Yeah.
Because when you...
No, blue goes low.
Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, because when you so, but if it's disputed, isn't black then starts here, doesn't it?
In the disputed area, there'll be both colors. In the following example with Mets, black is on the lowest, blue is on the highest.
Yeah. So because the way this is working is black is trying to move up higher. Because when you defeat a blue, you'll end up filling in that spot.
Cool.
That's the reason why I remember.
Yeah.
The blue didn't have a white.
No, blue
no.
doesn't
Oh,
have
because that's
it.
German armies. That's right. Okay.
No, that's Western Allies.
No. The whites are
the white,
German armies.
Yes. Area 21, which will be southern France there.
Yep.
It will be 1 black, 2 blue. And we get a von Lieb in control.
So here he's on
also
that.
Would be disputed.
And von Lieb, is that you on me? That's you.
Oh, I have the Lieberman. Von Lieberman. Yep. So von Lieb will also come into my in-command generals. They will have a gray and a white. Area 22, Northern Italy, 1 black.
Northern Italy, boom, 1
then
black.
26 and 28, 1 blue.
So is there nothing? Okay. 1 blue on
Because that's just
26 and 28, you said?
26, 28.
1 blue on each of those?
Yeah, there's no armies yet in Italy.
26 and 27, 28.
Egypt, force pool. 2 black cubes, 1 gray, 3 white.
2 black cubes, 1 gray, 3 white.
Yep.
You know what I don't enjoy about this game so far? Is that here, like on this side, the numbers are higher here. But on this side, the numbers are higher this way.
No, because they put a line in the middle. And said...
I know, but why? Because like over here, like why does it matter that numbers are higher this way? Why don't you have them just consistent? I guess maybe it's supposed to symbolize like German armies like
movement,
marching out. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would think. Okay, and that is setup. We have one other piece of setup we'll cover in 1 second, but I just wanted to check the general thing before I forget. So leading general is activating general.
Oh, the literal general thing.
Oh yeah, the little generals. So head of an army group. So this is activating generals.
Yeah. So what does that mean?
So activate a head of army group at the highest seniority factor. The head of operations.
Oh yeah.
Tied.
Yes, activating general is the general you're using in battle.
We just move it to activate.
Yeah. So right now they're in command because they're in those spots, and then when you're using them for battle, you move it to the activated general spot.
And then you just move it back to.
Because then that'll.
Because then if there's a vacancy, then they're no longer in command. Yep. Okay.
Oh yeah, and it says right here actually too, AGOB on the in command generals, for the ones that are in those spots.
Got it. Okay. Cool. So we, having the all-in expansion or whatever you want to call it, have 2 additional things here in play. So we have this, which will come into play in a moment. Then we have field marshal cards. So the field marshal cards are a stack of cards all the way up there. These offer an alternative tie-breaking procedure to determine victory at the end of the game. So during setup, the 14 field marshal cards are placed next to the board. Each card includes the prerequisites that a player must meet in order to claim it.
I'll show you.
So
on here.
Well, these are all face up.
Huh?
These are the ones that are all face up. So as soon as we do it, we grab the card.
Oh, right. So not even shuffled. This says the player controls the leading general who has conquered Paris. Yep. So a lot of these are those conquered things. I'm going to put those all together.
Yeah, so as soon as one of these things happen by either of us, we grab that card. If at the very end of the game, if we survive to the end of the war, if we're tied on the prestige track, whoever has more of these cards will win. So we just lay these faced up at the top. We'll just put them out of play or out of sight at the top.
They're here. If you want to look at them, just grab them and look at them.
Oh, sure. That works too.
Yeah. But I mean, we can go over.
What are the non
right now?
Sure, go for it.
So in regards to the player controls the leading general who conquered. There's a bunch of these. So that whole thing. So if you have the general who conquered,
yes,
Moscow, area 10.
Oh yeah, Moscow.
Yep. Athens, which is 25.
Greece.
Yep. Baghdad, 15. Leningrad
should be up here.
Area 9.
Yeah, there.
Tobruk.
Oh, I think you said.
Tobruk.
What number is that?
27. I was just see if you can find it.
What?
Oh, it says specifically Tobruk.
Oh.
Yeah, not even just Libya, but Tobruk specifically. Stalingrad, 11. Yep. Specifically Stalingrad right here.
That's interesting. Did that exist? Oh, I guess it did because he was already in command.
Baku, area 12.
Oh,
Baku. Sevastopol, area 8.
Lexi.
Metz, 21.
Oh, instant.
Right there.
Yeah.
Paris. Yep. And those are all the conquereds. Okay. So there's a chunk. So if we keep in mind, it's a lot of the areas that don't have anything yet. So the only ones that do
Metz right now is the only one with
Metz, and there was one other one as well.
Well, Baghdad doesn't have a
Baghdad, but there's a political marker there. But yeah, so a lot of places that don't have one except for the Metz.
Yeah.
If we have conquered that, then we'll double check. Anytime we do conquer, we'll check. Player controls a leading general in a combat in which the Axis has obtained a victory as the defender when the Axis had fewer combat dice than the allied faction.
Nickel never win a die roll on that.
I know. So that is saying you have the control of general, you won by defending, but you had less dice than the allied forces you're fighting against. So underdog win. The player controls the leading general in combat in which the Axis is the attacker. The allied faction has at least 3 dice, and the Axis has obtained at least twice the number of allied hits. So double the damage, but the allies have at least 3 dice, and you win as the attacker.
Yep.
The player is the head of operations at the end of any turn when the combined value of all air naval control tracks is equal to or exceeds 18.
That's possible? 5? Oh, I guess because there's 5 tracks.
5, 10, 15, and then you have
20.
a 3.
Or no, 5. 1, 2, 5. We have this one, so.
Yeah, I was just saying you could do 5, 10, 15, and then
Oh,
one is
yeah.
on 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4, yeah, 4, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The player is the head of production, and he has obtained a victory in strategic warfare when the Axis had fewer combat dice than the Allied faction.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, not too bad.
So all of the more complicated ones are on the bottom, they're the last couple, and then the rest are top. Okay. Next.
A final thing. Distribution of heads of command.
Ooh, and we got to make sure we do those.
Well, those are after distribution of heads of command.
Okay. So random, what we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Shuffle, 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 shuffle.
So these there's 4 heads of command. There's the head of the OKW, head of personnel, head of production, and head of operations. Each of them have different abilities and things they'll do different during the different phases. And we just go through these phases, and they can kind of like make the decisions. But the OKW can be like, screw you, I'm countering what you did.
So we're going to do 1 to 4. So it's going to start from the top. So 1 to 4. What do you want? What's
3.
3? Boom.
OKW. No, goddamn it.
I'm going to go 1.
Okay,
Production.
still out there. 50-50.
Okay, 1 to 2.
1.
Okay, W, all right.
Damn it.
Woo. And these start on the gray sides. Sections of high command. Nice. Boom. So they do have a spot for these over here. I'm gonna just put mine right here. That way they're out.
I put these out.
And then we have these little markers that are stands that will have face up for you. That way you can see who is what. Can you see that? Okay.
Yep, perfect. I'll let
Nice.
mine out there in a moment. All right, so the last thing now with the secondary expansion before, and then we'll cover what they all are.
Okay, cool.
Is we have a Winds of War bonus feature here, optional module, where we're going to deal 2 of these cards out to each of us. And the way this works is each player is dealt 2 cards after your heads of command have been decided. Players will keep only one of those 2 cards. At any point in time, if the prerequisite is met, the player must play the card without consulting other players, which we're playing competitively, so that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
The effect of the card is applied immediately. The head of the OKW may overrule only card number 10, which is called Home Front Sacrifices.
Okay.
And they cannot overrule the rest.
Okay.
So pick a pile.
Sure. It's the one closest to me. So we choose one of these, right?
The other side of this. Yeah, choose one right now.
And so these
That's
have to
hilarious.
So these have to be played when the thing happens, right? It says.
Oh no, it has to meet the prerequisite. So you have to play it during the prerequisite meeting. So if it says like a year, you have to play it during that year only.
Okay, got it. I thought it said like you have to play it when this happens without consulting.
No, it just says you have to play without consulting.
Okay, got it.
But that's not an issue with us. Because that's the co-op mode mostly.
Yeah.
As much as I want to use that card.
Sure. Let's see. All right. So I'm gonna put that here in my section of high command spot just to have it there out of the way.
We have a whole player board over here.
Yeah. All right. So you want to go over the rolls?
Yeah, and then we'll get into this.
And so these rolls are double-sided, so they will change slightly throughout the game. So they start off on the gray side until reorganization of the high command is hit, and it turns over to the red side. So right now, I am the head of production, so I'm responsible for the production table, which is this right here, and the production directive and strategic warfare segments. So all the over there, sorry, boom, boom, right, strategic warfare. And the production directive. So I have
strategic warfare is this lineup. That's just cards.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, you get to move these
Sorry,
around.
that. So I have the exact role that Steve didn't want me to have because I have to roll to try and make shit.
Yeah.
And then I have the OKW, which Steve just didn't want me to have because he wanted the power. Which
Not wrong.
resolves ties during the section card segment, responsible for the political directive and the military directive segments, may play the reorganization of high command political directive card, and may overrule players' decisions at the cost of increasing unrest value. Says 9 and 10, which, I don't know, 9 and 10, maybe step 9 and 10, I guess. And then PP, there's more on the production, my bad. So each new year, he gains PP equal to half the fanaticism value rounded up. And I apologize if I got in the head of production. I get +1 PP for every victory in the strategic warfare segment. And I get +1 PP for every advance in the project track.
What was your 9-10 thing over there?
It just says 9 and 10.
Oh, what does it say about it?
For overruling other players' decisions at the cost of unrest.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for me, I have head of operations. The head of operations is responsible for placing replacements and the movement segment. So the movement segment's literally moving all the troops around. When we get to that, so I get a full control of where everything's moving around. Head of personnel. I'm awarded PP for successfully completed military directive cards, which is the blue stack over here.
Nice.
Head of personnel. I hate this card. I received the first player marker, which. Did I take out the box? I didn't take out the box.
What's the first player marker?
Where'd I put it? It's here somewhere.
Is the badge? Oh.
So receive first player marker.
He has the speaking stick.
That's this. Not bring it on. The other one. Hold on. Fire it up.
Yeah, he's a baton twirler.
No, well, bring it on.
It's the relay race. Yeah.
Yeah. Or not bring it on.
It's a
fire
spirit.
it up.
It's a spirit stick.
Spirit stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how you talk too. What else was written? I resolve ties in the command segment. That's good to know. In the command segment, I may replace one general with one of my generals with a higher seniority, and then pay. In the new year, I get +2 for every general in the high command deck of my player board, up to a maximum of +4. So if I have two or more generals in the in command spot, cool. I get 4 PP.
No, yes, that's good. So you can literally just try and get your generals onto the board that aren't involved in war, and then you can just bank PP with them then.
Yeah. Speaking stick I remember was from Yours, Mine, and Ours.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
Yours, Mine, and Ours. It's like a Cheaper by the Dozen family kind of movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not as many kids, but...
Less than a dozen.
Because Yours, Mine, and Ours is like... Because she had kids, he had kids, and they came together, and like the kids, of course, hated each other and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
It came out like Daddy Daycare, Cheer by the
Now I want to Fire It Up. Fire It Up, great movie.
F you!
How much more clear can I say it? I said it in Spanish.
Too good.
All right. So,
how do we
you ready to get started?
Yeah.
So,
and the 9 and 10 refers to, in the rule book, sections 9 and 10.
Got it. So for this, again, we'll play it slow to start things out for both of us as well as the viewership.
I think we're going to have to anyway.
Yeah. So we start out with the administrative phase. We literally go through the lineup here. Then we move on to the operations phase. We go through the lineup. And it calls that out on the turn track. During the summer season, we actually have operations phase. And then we do the operations phase again before the end segment. Because that one has 2 markers. So first up, a bombing of Germany. Bombing of Germany, you refer to the German Air Naval Control Section. Right now, it's sitting in the 5. Nothing happens. That would be the head of production. And it tells you, thankfully, on the map here, what happens. Yep. So you would do stuff with replacements.
Yep.
But we don't have to worry about that.
Then it goes down to replacements, which would be the head of operations.
Which is me. So, replacements refers to these tracks here.
Oh, so literally it goes.
Yeah.
Replacements.
Yeah. The Werkmark, Luftwaffe, and Strategic Warfare replacements, they each have a 1 marker right now. So a Werkmark, each point allows one of these actions. I can replace an army who is reduced or regular with an advanced version, or I can deploy an army. Oh, that is interesting, actually, with this combo. Right? Oh, no. He gets both movement and replacements. I thought one was getting movements, one was getting replacements. I'm like, oh, that's a good duo.
So each point allows one of these actions, deploy 1 reduced army from the force field, or deploy 1 reduced army with 1 regular army, or replace 1 regular army with...
That's like upgrading, or you put it in
I was just reading it just to remind myself. Right. So just so you guys know, the white cubes are the reduced army, the gray cubes are the regular army, and then the black cubes off here to the side are the Panzer army, so the stronger of the armies. So if you think about it like a gradation scale, because that's how my mind sees it as an artist. I'm like, oh, cool, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Prohibidabado, yes.
What?
A Fountain of Troy. Prohibidabado.
And so if he places a reduced army into an area, he will then have to put. Oh, can we get our general things? He'll then have to put a general onto that. Oh no, he puts down a vacancy on there. And later we'll have to put generals.
You want to call out your names?
Your names. I have Blaskowitz, Kuschler, Von Klug, Reich Noah, Von Wex. No nomination.
Okay, so I should have Liszt, Witzelbahn, Bush, Rechner, and hey, I have Adolf.
Mm-hmm.
Just Strauss, not Hitler.
Yeah, so when it comes to filling those vacancies, we are using a variant of this, which we'll go over when we get to that point.
And I believe we cannot place troops down where there's no markers. Because you have to, I think, go into that area.
I would imagine so.
So, we're going to go right there. Oh, nope. There is something about Italy. Where was that in the rule book? I remember this from the last time.
Oh, that's neutral?
I think it's new. Yeah. I think until you get the card, you can't actually do anything in Italy. Because we're just allied with them and not taking them over.
Yeah, the status of Italy would need to be changed, I think. Because I think it's southern and northern Italy.
Yep, you're right. So Italy over here. Status of Italy, no independence. No German armies can be deployed.
Okay.
So we will go into Hungary.
And like
right here.
No satellites got put out, right?
No, not yet.
Okay, I was making sure.
Yeah. We only did that like while we're in the rules when we got to that rule section.
Got it.
Also, for everyone's reference here, this number in the corner tells you how many armies you can have. It doesn't matter what type of armies. You can just have 5 cubes there.
Yep.
If there's a fist, it means if we were to attack and move armies, one has to stay behind.
Yep.
So unless you get defeated completely, but if you're still in control, you cannot remove all armies. Where Hungary here, I can just move all my armies out, just like the game of Risk almost.
Yeah.
Where you're trying to advance forward.
Actually, the vacancy.
Yep, so we will get to a vacancy marker. Interesting. So why did those not start with the vacancy?
Because if there's only one there, you don't.
Oh, you're right. 2, 3, 4, you get 1 vacancy. That's right.
Yeah, and then 5 is 2.
I literally looked that up too earlier, and I remembered it, and then forgot it instantly. So that is the work mark. I only get 1 because there was only a 1 here.
Yep.
Luftwaffe. For each 1, I get a +1 in air navy control. In any front box or the German box.
I'm gonna pull in for us. That's all we need right now.
Yeah, that works. I will move +1 on the eastern front up to 4.
Ooh, so where are we going down?
A strategic what?
So you have to move 1 down now.
No, it says +1.
Oh. That says 4 each.
For each
+1 in the air naval control track. If any
for each point, so I have 1 point.
Or in German. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I was thinking the one where you can adjust them, which is a different.
I think that's a different thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's like one of the phases where you can like add to 1 and remove. Yeah. Strategic warfare. For each point, +1 in strategic warfare. So we're gonna move technology from a 0 into a 1. I'm just gonna put them like this so we'll see them. There we go.
And technology can never be higher than.
No, it can. You can't go into these until these are unlocked.
Okay.
Technology identifies the dice.
Yeah, it adds an extra die.
No, I think it upgrades a die. Does it add a die? I might add a die.
I think it adds a gray or a white die.
It's definitely gray. But we'll get to. So satellite replacements. We currently in the forest pool do not have any. And actually that is not. So we go through that. So that's the satellite replacements phase. So we skip that for right now. Onto the production table.
Which is me.
Yes.
As the head of production may rearrange production markers any way he wants, provided the sum of their value does not exceed the resource value in its track.
Funny enough, after reading the rule book, not having all the information on the player aid's fine, because now we understand what it means.
Right. So if I push the consumer goods up, the fanaticism goes up as well, right?
But then one of you can't.
Yeah, because I could push one of those.
Or it's to 0, actually. You could, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just looking to see if that's worth doing, because I get points for fanaticism at the new year.
What is equal to fanaticism divided by 2.
Half rounded up.
Yeah.
So right now it'd be 1. If I push it to 3, it'd be 2.
It's true.
So I'm thinking I'm gonna do that, which pushes you up, and then I have to lower something else. So this is strategic warfare replacements.
That was this.
That was that thing. So I'm gonna push you down, which you don't adjust that track, so it just allows you to move, right?
Yeah, so production happens after the movement, so this won't trigger until the next time we get there. If it's still the same spots.
So then I'm going to...
Would you like as the OKW to override that?
Right. So no, I'm thinking about pushing up the production directives. What does that influence, the production directives being higher? Is that how many dice that we roll?
That's how many points you have to buy in the upper left-hand corner.
Oh, right.
So the cost of the card is how many you have available. There.
So I could do 2 if I have that at 2. Potentially.
Can you do 2? Play 1 or more.
Points.
No, I was thinking if you play 1 more cards.
So I'm going to push that up to 2, and we'll push... So Luftwaffe, which did... What was Luftwaffe again?
This, moving the air control
markers. Strategic warfare.
Is this.
Is that Luftwaffe? Okay, so we're going to push that down.
The other one is actual troops.
Yeah, I want to keep the troops up for us, so...
He's like, I'm just going to get all troops off the board and die instantly.
Well, you wouldn't move them. You wouldn't move anything.
I know, but you want to be able to add more.
I know, so I'm trying to... So since I'm doing this, I'm trying to set myself up to get points at the end of the year in the best way possible. So I'm trying to push the fanaticism track up as high as I can, because I'm going to get points for half rounded up of that. And then the production directives, I get points for each of those that are successfully completed. So what having this at 2 does is I can either, if the first one I attempt I do successfully, I can attempt another one. If I don't successfully complete the first one, then I can get another shot at it, was kind of my idea too, because my rolling sucks. All right. That is the production table.
You're done? All right. So we start production directive.
Okay, play 1 or more production directive cards if prerequisites met and PRD value of the production table is equal to or greater than the cost.
All prerequisites are met.
Okay, so I'm just going to grab all 3 of these to look at here. So we have the Type 7C submarines. We have the magnetic mines, and we have the self-responsibility of industry. So this will... What's the resource track? Cool. So if I do the self-responsibility of industry, it's going to push that fanaticism down 1, which is okay because I'll get the point for completing it that I'm losing by pushing it down. But our resources go up, which means we'll have more room to move later on. So that's potentially a good one. That card I hate. No. The magnetic mine, so air/naval control in the Western Front gets a +1. So Western Front would get a +1 to 3. And then the Type 7C submarine. So move 1 technology marker, 1 box to the right in the... So I don't think you get to move technology. I think the strategic warfare, you only get to move the strategic warfare. These things move technology. That's why I was like, I don't think you can do that.
For every... It must add 1 to the strategic warfare value in its track. Right?
Yeah. Okay. Because we have to actually advance technology to move that up.
Which is interesting, which means I can't move it to 3 unless...
Correct.
Unlock it. Oh.
And we have to have a prerequisite done to be able to...
I guess something's going to move that down. Because I'm like, if we can, every administrative phase, move that up 1, that doesn't make sense.
Well, once the new year flips over, which once we finish this, 1940 comes out, it brings out the production cards, which allow us to get rid of the 3, I assume, in 1940.
Yeah.
So then it's just, that becomes the thing. So I think I'm going to attempt the... Ooh. I'm going to go with the Type 7C submarines to start. Okay. So let's see. So it cost me 1. So we have 1. So now, how many dice do I roll?
So production directive cards shows Every production directive indicates the cost. The card can only be played if you can make the cost. So other than a project is played, effects are immediate. So projects you have to dice. Those are not a project. That's immediate.
Oh, what are the projects?
It'll say project in like big text.
Oh, cool. Perfect.
Like project here, it has like actual dice numbers.
Okay.
And it'll say like project.
Oh, perfect. Good. All right. So then played that. So then I go up 1 here.
Yep.
And technology will go up 1 to where we moved it previously. So then that just goes into a discard area.
Right here.
Cool. So that's the case. Then I am going to do, yes, perfect. 2 or higher. So I'm going to do responsibility of industry. The prerequisite is the fanaticism value has to be 2 or higher. It's at 3. So resources is going to go up 1. Fanaticism goes down 1, but I get another PP for completing that. And that is my 2.
All right. So now we move over to political directive, which is the head of the OKW. You get to go to the political directive cards, which are purple, and play only 1, because that is at a 1, but of the cost 1, which they all are.
Yep. So political directives. All right, so let's see what we have here for political directives. We have diplomacy Romania / Bulgaria, and it looks like this one will take a dice roll because it says 4+ for activation.
Diplomacy cards are the ones that require other things. If it's not a diplomacy card, it affects your immediate. Is it called diplomacy card?
Yeah.
Yeah, so diplomacy are non-immediate.
They're all diplomacy.
Okay. Yep.
So how many dice would I end up rolling?
So diplomacy. After playing a diplomacy card, you roll the D6.
Okay.
Where the heck did we get 2 of these?
There was always 2. You had to mix into that.
Oh, one of these has a weird symbol then.
They both have it for the 6.
Okay. I think I had it like that and it wasn't being attention. Okay.
Yeah.
So you roll a D6.
So just 1.
I didn't finish reading yet. Hold on.
Sorry.
The head of the OKW rolls a D6 and adds or subtracts any applicable die roll modifiers listed on the card.
Yeah.
If the modified result is equal to or higher than the activation factor, which is the top box section, activate the country as an Axis satellite. If it is lower, there's no effect. If there's a recycle symbol, the card remains available for later.
So what was that last part about turning into a satellite?
If you roll it higher, then you become a it should say a country name.
Okay, so then Romania / Bulgaria become a satellite by completing diplomacy.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. So
and then if you do a satellite, I'll leave on this.
So then on your Romania Bulgaria, the modifiers are the status of France is in Vichy. It is not correct currently. Yugoslavia is not currently an Axis satellite. I know it's not, but where is Yugoslavia?
It's not a satellite.
So it's not a satellite, so that would give me +1. Greece is not an Axis satellite, so I would get another +1 because it's obviously not. And Hungary is not an Axis satellite, which it's not. So so that'd be -1 if it was. So perfect. So I would get +2. I would need 4 or higher, which means I just need to roll a 2 on this to complete the Romania Bulgaria. So my luck, I would roll a 1.
Yeah, here we go.
Diplomacy Italy. Status of France is Vichy. It's not. And then no minuses. So that one's gonna be harder. So this one's easier to do when France is in the Vichy mode because the other one's Vichy. My bad. I'm thinking Da Vinci when I read it. So Vichy, Vini Vici.
France, not Italy.
Vini Vici. So it's in Vichy. That would give me a +2. So that one I have to roll straight up 4, 5, or 6. So less likely for me with only 1 chance. And then this one is Hungary. So Poland is occupied. Romania, Bulgaria is neutral. So if I do the diplomacy of Romania, Bulgaria, it'd still be neutral even though it's a satellite, right? No, if it's a satellite, they're working with us, so it's no longer neutral.
Correct. It'd be Axis controlled.
So I wouldn't get the +1. Interesting. So here, if Hungary's an Axis satellite, it gets -1. Here, if Romania, Bulgaria is neutral, it gets +1. So,
let's see which one to do first.
Well, this one's going to be harder. So I'm going to do the Romania, Bulgaria, because this is a 3+. So we're going to roll 1 die.
Here comes the 1.
We're going to do it right in here. A 5.
Oh.
All right.
Okay. So on success, discard the card afterwards, obviously.
I get this one.
Yep, you'll get your thing. Place a satellite marker in the alignment box of that country. Called out, whatever.
Yeah, Romania, Bulgaria. Bad.
Place an Axis control disk in the highest number. You would move home area. Oh, nope, there's no other ones there. If there is a resource symbol, there is. Add 1 to the resource track.
Nice. Sucked it.
Place 1 satellite army in the army's box. Nope. Yep. Just kidding. Not on bases. Place the printed number of satellite armies in the activated box in the force pool.
I remember us going back for this multiple times in the rulebook rundown.
There's no ports. We don't have to worry about that.
Nope.
It's not Italy. It's not France.
Yep.
Placed then the head of the OKW gains their PP, which you already did.
Oh, yeah, the space down so we don't think it's active.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Now.
Okay.
That was your only point. Now you move
Yep.
on to the last set, which is the military objective.
Directive. Yep.
Directive.
So that is.
Keep these are objectives
Oh,
because
so-
you're like rolling to get something.
All right. So we get one combat pawn, land combat pawn. Prerequisite is the season's not winter. It is not. It says invasion of Poland. So the objective is Warsaw. So right here, where everything is. So we are doing that, right?
Sure.
Because we're putting that down where we want to have combat.
Military directive card is active during the turn when it is played until the objectives have been met. So yeah, so I think during the combat phase, so that's there now, but during the combat phase, it means combat's going to happen.
Yeah. And because this here to complete it is taking over Warsaw. So we need to completely take over Warsaw to get the benefits at the bottom.
Yeah.
So that's why I figured, so we're attacking.
Which you need to do it twice, because that'll then move into Warsaw.
Right, but we can only do it once.
During this
Because
second.
it's on a one.
Yeah.
We could do it twice.
Well, no, because you don't do it right now. You don't do it until combat phase.
Didn't it just say?
So military directive card is active during the turn it is played until the objectives have been met. In the final segment of each operations phase, players check where the objectives. Final section of the operations phase. Players check if the objectives and the active military directive have been met. So in this segment, the header may play one or more military directive cards, provided the prerequisites are met. So the example here was the combat pawns, eligible areas. Yeah, you're just activated countries, some events.
Yeah, Soviet. So yeah, it's not to the offense phase.
Yeah, so you're just placing the directive or the
right here, access defense. Yeah. Okay. But it'll stay out there until we complete it.
Yep.
Got it. So yes, that's where I am putting the combatants.
So that is the end of the first administrative phase. So again, that was just a lot of doing resourcing, doing the cards. We now move down to production and move this over to the operations phase for autumn 1939. We're almost done with our first year.
Woo-hoo. All right, so production.
Strategic warfare.
Where we at here?
So this is, you're going to roll some dice?
So axis number. So number of dice equal to strategic warfare value. So strategic warfare is at 3.
Yep.
Okay, so type of dice. So technology equals gray. The rest are white dice. So right now we have 1, 2, and 1 gray. Okay.
Western faction draws a combat card. Do you want me to just do the Western faction since you're rolling for access?
Yeah. So here's that.
Okay. So the Western faction draws a combat card. You reference the Western faction card, cross-referencing with the symbol of strategic warfare and the year. That is resolve the Western dice that will be rolled. Then place a card face up in the pot. So for this card here, it says 1939, 1940. Using the Street of Warfare is 1.
Oh, it's 1?
It's 1. Nice. So what'll happen here is we both roll the dice. And there's a hit marker table right here. So I'll just place this here within view.
No, you're wrong.
What?
So it's because you're referencing the strategic warfare table.
Yeah, so here's the example. So this example says,
because are you attacking?
the head of production draws a combat references the 1944 combat. That results in a 4. That 4, yeah, so it's just equivalent to this marker, wherever that marker is based on the current year.
Oh, okay. So the attack over here is when
we're not attacking.
We're doing the Western attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is just a...
Okay. Gotcha.
So on here, which, you can see, there's table 2. This describes what a hit is on my dice, what a hit is on Nick's dice. Pretty much we're going to find out who has the higher amount of hits, and that will go into effect. If they're exactly the same, nothing happens. If the axis has more hits, then they will succeed and move the air naval control value. If the Western faction succeeds, they will have to, or the Axis has to lower some stuff.
So I'm sorry, I'm confused then why we even have the 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's how many dice.
Yeah, but this strategic warfare table, right?
So during this phase.
Yeah, no, but the strategic warfare would be like referencing the number that the strategic warfare is at.
So
when does that come into play for the strategic warfare? So then when we go into the attack or defense, is the year not taken into account at all? Is that where strategic warfare is only taken into account?
No, strategic warfare is only taken into account right now.
No, but you use this also at some point to cross-reference how many dice they roll based on how high our strategic warfare thing is. That's why it goes up to 4 on this.
No, that's a whole separate phase where we're like.
That's what I'm asking. So when we do the combat phase, is that how we figure out which one of these is based on our strategic warfare?
It might be. I don't remember. But yeah, this phase is just that column.
It just says year and then whatever strategic warfare roll I die. Okay. I just want to make sure we're doing it right.
Yeah, we are. There's a picture.
Okay.
I can read pictures in a book.
Debatable.
I can read this picture in a book. It's highlighted and everything.
All right. Roll out.
So, for the markers, I rolled USA. USA is not at war. That's a 0. You rolled 2 of these, which have no effect.
But a 1.
But you got 1 hit. So, as a success, you will add 1 to the air naval control value in the western box. And that's that side. And if possible, meaning like if this was at 5, obviously you don't go any higher.
Yep.
And then you get a pay. This is stupid.
We're being ahead of production.
Not shit yet.
Nice.
Yeah,
So here you get head of operations. You get to control the movement now.
All right, finally, head of operations. Movement. So.
And this is something that I can override if I so choose.
Yeah, and then cause unrest.
Yeah.
So movement. Move armies from any area to any other area in the same front with an Axis control this, if not isolated. We don't have any isolated troops out right now, so we're good there. The maximum number of armies equals the air naval control value in that front, which will be these little markers up there.
Oh.
That's operational movement. I also have strategic movement, which means I can move armies from areas to the strategic movement box in the middle, and then from that strategic movement box to other areas.
Do we not put these on yet? Do we just put this on here because that one's activated?
Maybe. That is not described here.
Well, here combat, because here Axis defensive it says combat pawns, and then head of OKW as if like I'd be.
Go to 15.2.4 for an extended play, which is in this book. Let's find out. 15.2.4. The active player, he pays 1 for the card. That's literally that exact card.
Yep.
The current military objective value is met. Good. So mark and play. Okay. Mark is the guy's name playing this. Briefly considers the idea of not, whatever, I don't care. Mark therefore decides to play the Fall Weiss card and places it next to the player board face up. Then he places 1 pawn on it as instructed by the card. At the end of the administrative phase, this is the end of the administrative phase, then proceeds. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so that'll get put on during
the yeah.
Axis defense. Okay, just want to make sure.
Okay.
Cool.
Where is it? Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good. And then air movement between. Okay, yeah. So pretty much I get to just move troops around right now if I'd like to.
Yeah. So it says here, move armies from any area to any other area in the same front with an Axis control disk, if not isolated. Maximum number of armies equals the air naval control value in the front. Movement to areas with naval supply marker, only 1 army per front. So that's the operational movement, which is the ground movement.
Yeah, so right now, like this eastern front is 4, so I can move 4 armies around the eastern front, specifically in the red spaces. If I want to move to a different front, that's where the strategic movement comes in. I can move armies into this box called strategic movement, and then I can move them from this box elsewhere. I cannot move to isolated areas. Maximum number of movements equals this value in the Germany box. And then satellite armies cannot be moved to western or southern. And then air movement allows you, this is between air naval control tracks, no limit, but okay. So it means I can like raise one of these, lower the others to like impact movement. So I will.
Oh, so this is where you can adjust the tracks?
That's what I said. Air movement between air. I'll double check exactly how it's written over here. Air movement allows head of operations to redistribute access air power. In order to do so, the head of operations may move the marker to the left and then move an equivalent marker or another marker to the right.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you can do that before.
Yeah, I can do this in anywhere.
So then for all the troops that are... So this is what's controlling, like, all the troops moving?
No, this is controlling how many troops can move in and out of this box.
Okay.
So I can move like 4 of these into here and then 5 out.
This controls...
This front. This controls this front. That controls that front. So I can move 4 armies in this front.
So that's 4 total movement.
Maximum number of armies equals air and naval control marker. Or value in the front. Movement to air. Yeah, this is not how much. So movement, I can move wherever, because you don't have to move adjacently, it said. We read that when we did the rulebook rundown. That you can like hop from here to over there. As long as you're in the same front.
So I thought I said, like, if you move from here to here, and then moving out, that counts as part of the movement is moving in.
Yeah, that's strategic movement.
Oh, maximum number of movements. Okay, it's the strategic. So maximum number of movements equals this value. This is not the number of armies. That's number of movements.
Yeah. Okay, so that's number. But this I can move wherever here.
Right. So you can use your 4 armies, and your movement could be into the strategic movement box. But then from there, if this was on 2, you can only move 2 of those
out.
No, because that's the actual movement amount. That's
no,
the number of armies.
So, hold on, here we go. So operational movement, maximum number of armies that may be moved in the front. Strategic movement allows players to move from one front to a different front. You use the Germany marker. To any area in another front with an axis control disk, even if it's neutral. So like Yugoslavia.
Yep.
Armies cannot be moved to or from areas isolated, and cannot move armies to bases and to army. Yep, okay. Maximum number of strategic movement actions in any one operations phase is determined by the box. So that means going in counts as 1 action in this
That's
box.
what it is.
Going in is 1 second.
There it is.
Yeah.
That was what was tripping me up. I was like, okay. There's a thing where it said it counts as 1 to go in.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, now we can move. I am going to move 1 from Poland into here, 1 from here, over here.
Okay. That's 2 of the 5.
I will then move this army into Yugoslavia, which automatically triggers a vacancy.
Yep.
That is it for my movement phase.
Okay.
Would you like to override my actions?
Yeah, that makes sense to take over that area. Yugoslavia, sure, yeah. Don't want to reduce that anymore. Well, so you'll get rid of this guy.
Yep.
Because
there's only 4 of them, so 5.
That's you.
Oh yeah.
No,
so now Von Bach moves over here.
It's both BG heads.
Actually, does that happen automatically, or is there like a step for the command segment?
It's pretty much the moment.
Next.
It's only the moment that it's reduced. Oh, and actually,
whatever the number immediately. Oh, it would happen during command segment, but that's fine.
Okay, that's fine. And then
once all areas conform to everything, players roll for dismissals. Which that would be.
That's like discarding.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the blue number is the hierarchy. The red number is the confidence score, I believe.
Yes.
So Von Bach is going to be the one that leads.
Yes.
Because it's lower. Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Then we're good.
All right. So now we move to the command segment. So now this happens. So Von Bach comes out.
Yep.
Von Rundstedt goes down. This will just come back to my player board. Von Bach moves to my available generals instead of being in command.
And so we would do dismissals if there's anyone that need to be questioned. So we would end up rolling. So question means on the other side of these tokens, it says questioned, which different events will force people to become suspicious of their generals. Now, appointments. Any player may nominate one of their generals as a candidate. Other players must pass or nominate their own candidate with the same or higher seniority factor. So here we're trying to fill in the vacancies that we have here. We have 2 vacancies. And so here's where we're using the variant portion. So we each have our number of generals in our hand. We also have a no nomination card. So what we're going to do is choose one of our cards to put out like this. And then we will flip them, and the person with the higher seniority will end up putting their general there. I believe head of personnel can override this.
Okay.
At the very end.
Yes. And
so if I put out a no nomination, that's me essentially saying, okay, I don't want my general there. It's kind of a way to bluff that you want to put somebody there to try and get them to put one of their people out.
Appointments. In order to fill a vacancy, players may start nominating. Yes. Which way do we go? Regardless of the space. So you just want to go in numbered order for all these? Make this easy every time we do it?
Yeah, there's just 2.
Well, I know, but like if there was more, let's go. Start with number 1, go through the lineup.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So number 2, Hungary.
Yep. Hungary. Let's see, what are these effects that have?
I'm like, oh wait, what do these generals do?
Also, special respect. So all these have like different effects. So von Runestedter's out there right now. So he in combat add +1 hit to the Axis combat roll. It's great. For respected, when dismissed, add this card to the general cards entering play next year. If he is a dissident, he returns as an old guard. So he essentially keeps coming back.
Mine for Von Lieb, which is currently sitting in southern France. During combat, I get to draw 2 combat cards and choose 1 for the current combat. Shuffle the other back into the deck. Special, reputation. When dismissed or removed from play, add 2 influence points to the old guard.
Nice. And then we'll leave the other ones as a secret until we play them.
Yep. Ooh, that's nice. That's nice.
I'm missing somebody. I need von Reichmann. Oh, Reichner.
What? Why do I have that?
I don't know.
You didn't call him out then.
I'm pretty sure I did.
Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna keep this deck face down.
That's what I do. That's what I was doing.
If you're still listening, some kind of musical, keep us updated if our nation's capital starts on fire or something. If you hear news of the other activities of the day.
So here's a question. For the special effects, if it says controlling player, because I have him, I'm technically the controlling player.
Or general.
Or does it have to be the general? So does it have to be out in command to be considered in control for the special effects to be active?
I would, yeah, because like these, I'm assuming you can't use it if the dude's just sitting on his couch with his wife.
Just want to make sure.
I'm like that.
What do we got?
Because it says controlling, not leading, right?
Yes, it's controlling.
I'm thinking like this scenario here, like you have 2 generals, like one's a leading general, the other's there as like supporting, but yeah, I'm assuming controlling means they just have to be out.
Right. Okay. I would assume so.
Yeah, leading generals. Yeah,
makes most sense because it incentivizes you to put them out.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yep.
And flip. No nomination.
It's fine. I will take Adolf Strauss into here. The vacancy marker comes off. Now that he's active, I'll just read what his ability is. So in combat, the controlling player may re-roll 1 die in the Axis combat roll. The new result must be applied.
Nice.
He will have some misfortune in about a year and a half.
Maybe.
Potentially.
It doesn't necessarily happen. Okay, we got here now Yugoslavia.
Yugoslavia.
Nice. So I'm putting out Walter von Regenau. I think that's how I pronounce his name. Right here. Boom. Here you go.
Oh, yeah.
So Walter, he has a seniority of 8. His confidence is 6. In combat, the controlling player may re-roll 1 die in the allied combat roll. The new result must be applied. Special, he's Hitler's favorite. In the New Year phase, add +1 PP to the controlling player. Boom. What up? All right.
So appointments are now complete. Everyone that should have a general has a general.
You, at this point, now those are out there, can choose to switch generals out. The only thing is that the seniority has to be, I believe, higher.
Yeah, may replace one general in command with one of his generals with a higher seniority factor.
Correct.
We are good for now.
Okay. So now we're going into the Axis offensive. So time to get offensive, everybody.
So
Buckle up.
With you. Oh, this is so you get part of it. I get part of it.
Yeah. So you're doing the resolve combat portion.
Yep.
But I could re-roll the allied combat roll if I so choose, because if he was fighting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So you want to go over the beginning portion of that?
Yes, we do. So Axis offensive segment. So we have 3 offensive segments. Axis, Western Soviet. There's obviously no Soviet troops out right now, so that probably gets skipped. But we have both of ours. So Axis, if there is not an active military directed card, you would skip this segment. There is an active military directed card.
Correct. That's the pawn.
So place the land or pawn on the board.
Okay, and where you want to have the fight. So obviously Warsaw is what we're trying to get to, so that's what we're going to do here.
And it shows 1 black marker on the card means a black pawn. The blue mark means the blue pawn, which is amphibious, so water attack.
Yeah, it's a lizard pawn.
The head of the OKW places the pawn out.
Done.
Each area must meet one of these requirements.
Okay.
Be disputed.
Correct.
Or is controlled by an allied faction and is adjacent to an area controlled by the Axis faction.
Oh yeah, aren't these supposed to have their markers down for being controlled by the Allies?
Probably. You want to grab the blues?
Yeah. Because they're not neutral at the moment.
Yeah, that's the one thing. It doesn't say in the setup guide, but I would assume so. It just shows like 1 blue disc. But it does show blue covers. That must be what that means.
What's
and
that?
Doesn't the blue covering? So red would be disputed, which is 1 in 21. So then all the blue ones would just have their blue thing.
Got it. Green is like the Soviet.
Oh, green would be Soviet. Black or brown black would be
So I think it's just
Axis.
It's just those. Right? It's like, got it. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. I should speak. Okay.
Yeah.
And then are those? So then are these technically occupied right now?
No, it doesn't show a color. Well, they would be occupied. They just wouldn't be satellites yet.
Right, because it's just us in there. Yeah. There we go. All right, we're learning.
Well, it doesn't say that specifically. Like, it just highlights some stuff, but it's
well, there's a portion where it says if there's no, like later on after fighting, where it says there's no more of these, like put down and occupied, I believe.
Okay, so that is met. So that is a disputed marker. The other thing it says, like, if, for example, this was just all blue, but you have control here, you're adjacent, you can also do this.
Oh, wait, no, that actually might be wrong. I think these go out when all the circles are filled.
Which makes sense why these literally have nothing on them.
Yeah, never mind. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
All right, sorry guys, because I was looking at this like satellite, like you can't have the 2 on there, so.
Okay, only 1 combat pawn could be placed in a single area. Oh,
Boom.
Which means, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is not obligatory to place all pawns out. But the head of OKW, but if the head of the OKW does not place one, the fanaticism goes down by 1.
Yep, makes sense because you're looking like a little bitch.
So you conduct land combat in every area with a pawn. Conduct amphibious combat if there's an amphibious pawn.
Yep.
Resolve combat 1 by 1 in order designated by the head of operations. Once combat has been resolved, remove the pawn. When there are no Axis pawns left, move on to the next segment.
Oh, so I would still, because my general, I'm still going to roll. You just decide the order. That says there, resolve
Yes.
combat or
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. So, resolving combat.
Yes. So, combat resolution. When resolving combat during the Axis combat segment,
Jesus here.
yeah. The Axis faction is the attacker, the allies are the defender. During the Western combat, it reverses. Makes sense? Oh, this needs to
Sure.
don't discard yet. The combat area is where the pawn is. If the Axis is the attacker, combat takes place in the sector with the allied control disk. If the Axis is the defender, the combat takes place where the Axis control disk is located. To resolve land, not land. To resolve land combat, do the following. Draw a combat card.
Combat card being drawn. Boom.
Activate generals.
Okay, so I'm obviously activating mine in this box. I have to. This is where I believe you could choose to activate yours if you so chose.
If I was next door, which I am.
Yep, it's your choice. Because then
So,
your
activating
army,
generals. So activate the. Oh no, I can't. I don't think I can. Hold on, let me double check.
or is it the army that's there?
Yeah, I think because there's an army there already. If the area with the Axis is controlled by the Allies, select an adjacent area. Yeah, so it's not controlled by Allies. It's disputed, so I can't move in.
No, you could.
No, it says activate the head of the AG with the highest seniority factor.
Okay, done.
If the area with the pawn is controlled by Allies, which it's not, select an adjacent area with at least one Axis army, which is not engaged, and then you can bring them in.
Okay, so that'd be if these guys were here, you could attack there.
Yes.
Got it.
So I can't come into this battle.
Got
It's already there.
Okay.
If there's at least one German army participating, a leading general must be activated.
Yes and yes.
Do not activate a leading general if the area only contains satellite armies. Every player must nominate one eligible candidate from the available general space on their player board. The nominated general seniority factor must be lower than that of the activated head of the army group. Oh. So that's what I don't think we understood the first time. So every player nominates one eligible candidate from the available generals. The nominated general seniority factor must be lower than the head of the AG.
So we're nominating them to do what?
To be the leading general. Any player may start by nominating one of his generals. Once the player is nominated a candidate, the remaining players may pass or nominate their own candidate in any order. If only one general is nominated, they become leading general, blah, blah.
So they don't have to be in
If
the
no
spot.
generals are nominated, head of personnel designates. Move leading general's card to the activated general space. Leave the general's marker on your player board. The other general cards remain in play. And then you go to the roll. Okay.
So the in command are those ones in command. Activated are the ones we're putting here to fight with them.
Yeah, to be the leading general of this battle.
Interesting.
So this dude's just chilling and being like, just directing everyone.
But because he's in command, and he's in that battle, the combat is still active. The combat ability, right?
Yeah, because he's there.
Okay.
So roll, event resolution, combat results, advance retreat. A general is eligible for leading general even if his card requirements are not met. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So here's an example. Let's just read the example out.
Mm-hmm.
Mark being the player Mark, controls von Rundstedt, nominates von Kuschler as leading general. Rick passes because he has no available generals. David decides to save his eligible general for the later battle. Abby nominates Strauss, who has a seniority 7. Von Kuschler's combat rule is not applicable because although he is activated, he can be activated in combat with the Soviet faction. The Axis must be defending and... Okay, yep. That's just for that. That makes sense. Although von Kuschler will not contribute to the battle, Mark, who controls the head of the AG, breaks the tie. Okay. That's just saying how to deal with the ties. Yeah, but... Oh, okay, yeah. So this... As long as the prerequisites on your combat are met, you can still use them as long as they're there. So either head of AG or leading general.
So I can use him or have some... So you're choosing one person to be that
You can't use him.
I can't use him.
So Von Runst, this dude?
Yeah.
No, because he's the head of AG. It has to come. It said come from activated generals.
Okay. From available generals.
Or available generals to become activated.
And then so the ones that are in that, so his combat thing won't apply because he's not the one who's in combat then.
Activate the head of it may resolve any time. The activated and leading may affect combat.
Okay.
Both. So like he's not fighting, he's just directing the army.
Okay.
But he is in combat, technically.
But for his combat ability to
He
take
can
effect,
use
he
it.
has to, the prerequisites still have to be met though.
Yeah. Well, obviously, the terrain type.
That's what I'm just making
Yeah.
sure.
So as long as the prerequisites are met, if he's here, he can do it.
And so what we're debating, everybody, is on the combat card here, it shows the Western, Eastern, and then it shows you the terrain they have to be in. So here it means they have to be the attacker in a plain sector. So right now we are attacking in Karakau. We're looking to move up towards Warsaw, where some of these have like a blue and a shield, which means you have to be the defender in a Western sector, specifically in a water area for that gentleman's ability to take effect. So that will affect who you try to put in place potentially.
And we're going to do the variant for all of these. So we
Yeah.
both pick a general or the no nomination card.
No nomination.
So Von Bach. So this just goes to my activated generals now. The marker does not move in.
So that means that his Von Bach is in the battle with me.
Yes.
So we'll suffer consequences both in some way if we lose.
Yeah, if we lose. So it just assumes we're losing.
If we lose.
All right. So now, we have the card drawn, right? Did you draw
It's right here.
Oh,
Yep.
cool.
See it? Yep.
So the result in the combat card may include special effects that must be resolved.
I'll come in so you guys can see that combat card a little bit better. Cool, right here.
So, Western faction is defending.
Yes.
So year 1939.
Yeah, so we are fighting up here. Let me put this right here next to it. Boom. I zoomed in so they can see a little
Cool.
better.
So year 1939, defense 2.
Okay, so they're going to be rolling 2 blue dice. Okay, we'll put this right here. Boom. We'll go actually this side.
Okay, yep. So no, so the effect, all these like symbols, we'll cover when we have to
That's
cover.
when they're attacking.
Yeah, that's when they're for this specific, like there,
Mhm.
it would matter defensively.
Yeah.
Axis combat roll. Roll 1 Axis combat die of the appropriate color for the equivalent armies. So this would be 4 gray.
Yep.
That's annoying
What?
because there was 5 gray there, and there's only 4 gray dice.
Yeah. Just means you would roll and then
If
re-roll.
the max is 5, why not give us 5 gray dice?
Yeah. I mean, whatever.
Up to the stacking limit of the combat army, which is that number.
Which is the 5. Yep.
The number of dice can be modified. If the air naval value is 5, add a white die. It is not. If the axis is the defender, we are not. If the area is isolated, it is not. If the axis is the attacker and the season is not winter, that is both accurate, the head of operations, which would be me, could choose to activate paratroopers. If we were, we would add a gray die. We are not going to do that.
No, we're good.
Well, I'm not going to do it. I'm head of operations.
I said no. We're
Yeah,
good.
I know.
I said we're good.
After determining the number and type of dice, player rolls the ally dice and the axis dice. Check table 1 here for the results. Resolve 1 or more combat event cards for each event result in the combat roll, which it'll show you based on your roll.
Yep.
So,
Wanna roll those?
sure.
There we go. Oh, 4 hits. Boom, boom,
And 2 misses.
boom. Murdered.
So again, the U.S. oh, actually, in table 1, that is a hit. Over here, it's not. So that'd be 2 hits against 4 hits. For result, land combat. Axis is the attacker. A number of hits exceeds Award 1 PP to the player controlling the lead general. Finally. Apply 1 advance, 6.7.1, which we'll get to in a minute. Then the activated head of army group may conduct a second advance if they choose to, which we'll get to in a minute, as long as the sector is the plains or river, which it is a plain sector.
Mm-hmm.
In order to, then we move on. Okay. So advance. In order to conduct an advance, move the Allied control disk to the next high number sector. Then move the Axis control disk to the sector vacated by the Allied control disk. If the Allied control disk was in the 1 space, place a new Axis control disk in the sector. Do not move the Axis control disk from an adjacent area. Nope.
It was in the 1 space.
No, if the Allied was in the 1 space, then Allied would move up and...
Oh, that's it. The Axis control disk moved from the 1 sector.
No, the Allied moved from the 1 place, an Axis in the 1. Flip the... wait, hold on. Okay, then you would flip the West... Oh, because that's saying, like, if Western controlled it,
yeah,
then you would move Western up 1, you would place it down, this would flip to disputed. So, like here, if you attacked here, this would go up 1, you would place it down, this would become disputed. This is already disputed.
So we're not filling in the gap here. We're just moving this up to advance.
Correct.
And when this gets to the highest mark...
Then this flips to...
So then it'd be occupied. So then wouldn't this be occupied then, technically?
I don't know what's... Hold on. It's about to tell us. If there are at least 2 armies advanced to the... if there are at least 2 armies advanced to the combat area, move the activated head of AG to the combat area, adjust command position to port 2.3. Oh... Because, okay, that's if you attack outside and move 2 armies in, advanced armies in, then you would put the vacancy thing down. So we could move armies if we want to. I'm not going to yet, because we still need to attack there. If the Allied control disk was in the highest number sector, remove it from the map, place the disputed marker in the alignment box, replace the disputed with an occupied.
So these should be occupied then, because they're in the highest spot.
Yes, that makes sense now.
All right. We're learning, folks.
Retreat we don't have to do. So now if we go back, because we had an head of AG.
So is this an occupied and a satellite?
No, it'll be just... I don't think it can be
because
both.
we're there. Maybe we don't use this because we don't have anyone there. Maybe this comes in if we're not present and it becomes a satellite.
So this said apply 1 advance. We just did that. So apply 1 advance was move the Allied control disk. Boom. The head of operations may move all armies that participate in combat to the combat area without exceeding stacking limits. So again, that's if we were fighting outside, like over here, and we were moving armies in to attack. I could leave the armies where they were, or I can move them into the zone. The head of the AG may conduct a second advance if they want. So you can do that right now and remove Warsaw and move us up.
Can you look at the satellite thing again real quick?
Second,
just to make sure we're not supposed to put... You're supposed to do this maybe instead of putting our marker down. Just while we're placing the occupies.
So where is a satellite? In this book. Area control. Let's start there.
3.3.2 maybe?
An area is controlled by the Axis if it contains an occupied or satellite marker. So satellite would stay.
Okay, cool. Cool. Just want to make sure.
So now, would you like to do a second advance?
Yeah. So would you choose a new activated general then?
No, no, because we won, you get 2 advances. So I get, because there was a head of AG and a general.
Sure.
So if there wasn't a head of AG, then you only get 1 advance.
You get a point, right?
Yes.
You said because you're leading. Yeah, sure. Let's do it. So we just do it again?
No. No, you just do the advance. No, just the advance, not the roll. The roll's already happened. We already won.
So we just remove the other marker?
Yeah, so if we were attacking here and there was no head of AG, we get 1 advance. But because there's also a head of AG, it says, so the number of hits exceeds victory, or apply 1 advance. Then the activated head of the AG may conduct a second optional advance if it's plains or river, and does not contain a landing marker. That is all true. It's a plains.
Okay, so we just essentially forced them out in one go.
That makes sense how you can win that on turn 1.
Okay, got it. So then now that's been won, so then this officially is...
So now this flips...
completed.
From disputed...
to occupied.
Into occupied.
And then...
no, we don't.
Yeah, this is a success. So you got...
Does that happen automatically? Or does it happen on one of these? I think it might happen.
Military objective check.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
All right, so we have officially finished that battle. Army elimination reduction. That would only happen if we lost, as well as retreating would happen if we lost.
Right. So this gets taken off then, I believe. Never finished.
All right. So now we finished the Axis offensive. That was the only marker. We moved to the Western offensive.
And we actually had 5 for our total hits because this guy has a +1.
Oh, cool. Yeah, what was my guy? Oh, I could have canceled one of these symbols, but didn't need to.
No, you couldn't have.
What?
Yeah. Oh, is white any?
White is any.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. We speaking definitives here. Before we ask questions.
So Western offensive. If there is no Western offensive marker in the operations box of the current turn, remove it and skip this segment. That would be one of those. In other case, check whether the Western landing takes place. So Western landing.
Was the no offense supposed to go out at all at the beginning of the game?
No, it didn't tell us to. I think that. Nope, just says put it here.
Okay, cool.
I'm assuming one of these probably says it somewhere to put it for later in. Yeah.
Cool. So we're checking for landing then now, right?
No, same step.
Yeah, so if it's not, then check for landing.
Yeah. So Western landings. Resolve landings only if both of the following are met. There's at least one landing marker in the landing markers box. There is not, because we're not. Oh, that would make sense, because we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we skip that. Combat we don't do because we skip it.
Interesting.
Which makes sense, because they're not attacking us right now anywhere.
Yeah.
Soviet offensive. Skip this segment, proceed to the end segment if the marker is not in war for USSR.
It's not in war. So there's no Western offensive in turn 1, even though there's a disputed area over here.
Yeah, so check if Western landings take place. Then resolve combats one by one. Yeah, so Western landings to be none. Oh, landings table. If you look at that card you just got rid of, look at the bottom. That would make sense. So
yeah. So this is 1942.
Because that would be the first time the landings go out. Because right now, all of the Western front's all in defensive mode.
Right.
So Axis is attacking everything. Okay.
Cool.
So that moves through Western, through Soviet to military directive check.
There we go.
So now end segment, military directive check. Ignore the step if there's no active objectives.
There is
an active objective. Check to see if it's been achieved.
It has. Warsaw.
If the objective includes one or several sectors, the objective have been achieved if all sectors are under Axis control. So it had 2 names on it instead of just Warsaw.
Yep.
If they all have been achieved, apply the effects in the success box, as explained. Oh, obviously, just hold on.
All right. So work mock replacements goes up by 1, and abiding by the limit still, obviously. So 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're 1 short. Good. The head of the AG gets 1, so that's you.
No, your head of the AG is you.
On production OKW.
What, head of the AG is what it says?
Mm-hmm. Or it just says AG.
Yeah, you were AG in this battle.
Oh, active general.
No, not active. No, AG.
Oh, AG head. Jesus Christ.
I'm like, it says AG.
I'm learning. Give me a break. OKW +1, also me. Operations, that's you, +2. And then 1 to the fanaticism.
Yes.
Nice.
So we'll just read off. So for other cards, so these are the effects of success in military directive cards. So it could say occupied. So you would remove the Allied control disk and alignment markers and place occupied there. France could surrender. There could be other effects such as adding air naval controls, placing the offensive markers. So that could happen through one of these cards. Prestige, players award prestige indicated. So the AG, for every head of AG, the players control in the area, list in the offensive segment. The player who's the head of OKW or operations. Supply check, there could be some of those. Oh no, supply check's what we're going into now. So there's a bunch of things to use to look for. Fanaticism, you would add to the fanaticism check like you did. Cool.
So we got to keep this free because this is where the active ones will get placed as we go. So you can choose multiple and put them over there. And then when the thing comes around.
Well,
but I just wanted to show everybody how Steve has gorilla hands. Look at this
It looks
already, just
It
like
looks
gripping
fine.
it so hard. It's his game, so. I just saw that.
All
I was
right.
like, what are you proposing? Holy crap!
Supply check.
All right, operations.
Oh, okay, that's me.
Mhm.
Check whether the ports are controlled by the axis, are open or closed, and are open or closed. We don't have any ports. So, we move on. No, that's great.
Victory check.
The area is a land supply. Oh, hold on. Then check whether all areas with an axis control are supplied. The area is supplied if it has a land supply or naval supply.
Has none.
Oh, well, yeah, because naval supply is the other side of those lines. Yes, we don't have any of that. Victory check. No one has won. Get out of here. So victory check would check, did the collapse of Germany happen?
Or was it not?
Is a player at least 20 PPs more than the player with the lowest PP score? The PPs and the agenda cards are not awarded in this case. If the game does not end, check if Germany collapses. It does not. Then we go to turn marker. If the game continues, advance the turn marker. Boom. This.
And now it's going to go through
A New Year phase.
New Year phase. But so now the biggest difference is that 1939 is essentially like a tutorial round.
Yes.
Where it's very simple. You're meant to complete as much as you can. And then here we're going to go through, as you can see, winter, spring, summer, and fall to where we're going through this track multiple times in a year.
Yes.
And then summer, we actually do the operations phase twice.
Yep.
So this is where the game starts to get a little bit longer.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll play a little quicker, though. It'll take longer because there's way more things to do.
We'll be good.
Yeah.